Sir, my heart, sir.
Hey, don't fight it. Don't fight it. Go through that. Go through. 220, 221. 221. Go through back. We're fighting one.
Give me that. Give me that hand. Stop reaching.
Okay. Relax. Watch it.
Stop it.
Hey, I will shoot you.
Do it,
I will shoot you.
Do it. Stop it. Do it. Stop. Do it. Stop reaching.
I will shoot you.
Stop reaching.
Today's video takes us to Chino, California. And during a routine traffic stop, officers were attempting to identify two individuals in the vehicle that they had stopped for a traffic violation. During the traffic stop, they were unable to identify the individuals inside, which prompted them to explain to the driver and passenger that they both will have to exit the vehicle in order to properly ID them. Upon the passenger exiting the vehicle, he claimed that he was having a medical emergency. During the medical emergency that he was experiencing, an altercation ensued, and most breakdowns usually define what is lawful and what is not. But we're here to dig a little deeper than that, to invoke thought and to create a conversation. I'm Sean Tyree. Welcome to Vest Life.
Hello.
Hi, how can I help you?
Stopped because you're illegal U-turn back there.
I'm sorry about that.
What happened to your leg?
Oh, my dog it attacked.
Okay, you guys got your IDs on you?
I don't have mine on me, but I can give you my info.
Why don't you have it with you?
I left it.
Do you have a license?
Yeah.
Is it valid?
Yes.
Yeah, you guys on probation parole?
No.
No? You have your ID on you? All right, bro. Go ahead and step out for me. Yeah.
Why?
Just have you both step out. So we can't find a match on you guys yet, so we got to find out who you guys are.
Alexis Garcia.
Okay, yeah.
22, 1981.
Okay, yeah, we'll figure it out right now. I'm just trying to do that right now, but we're going to step you guys out of the car, okay?
I'm not doing anything, sir.
It doesn't matter. So for us, case law says we can pull you guys out of the car at any kind of traffic stop. So right now you guys are both detained. The whole car is detained. So I'm going to have you step out.
Hey, you guys are giving my, I get anxiety, man.
It's okay. Like I said, you're not in trouble, okay? We just have you step out of the car for now. It's not that big of a deal.
I'm getting anxiety, sir.
Okay. Okay, I understand. Relax.
I'm having a heart attack.
The fire department's on the way. He's got a knife in his right pocket. Okay, step on. You're okay.
I know. My heart.
Okay, now sit down on the curb.
All right, so the passenger who was properly identified, you saw there, which he wasn't identified at the time of the stop. They didn't properly identify him until after the altercation ensued. But just so you know that, yeah, so he was identified eventually. That's what the name that you saw that came across the screen beforehand. So when officers have been doing this job for a long time, all right, not discounting people who have true medical emergencies, but you can tell when somebody's trying to fool you. All right, he starts saying he's having a medical emergency. Now he started, his heart, but you notice that he's not grasping his heart. Normally, what you'll see when somebody's having experiencing some type of heart palpitations or heart issues, where if they're possibly having a heart attack, they're usually clenching or grasping their chest, right? Because they're having trouble with it and they're identifying where the pain starts. But you can tell this guy is not really grasping or clutching his chest at all, right? And then he starts saying, hey, I have anxiety. Okay, you have anxiety for getting out of the vehicle, or you have anxiety when police are present. So you can tell, all right, why are you having anxiety? There's clearly something wrong here. One, the indicators, asking for his information, he or she, because both the driver and passenger, both the information came back fraudulent, meaning that when they ran the name and date of birth that they gave or provided, it came back with no return. And unless you're not of this country, meaning the United States, right, you're gonna have a return. All right. There's a database that all officers use, or all agencies use, where you can run somebody's name through 50 states. Now, this person can say, oh, it's California. All right, you're not getting a return out of California. Naturally, dispatch will do. They'll run it through neighboring states, or they'll run it through all 50 just to get a return. And if you're not getting a return out of all 50, then that means you know for sure that this person's lying to you, or both of them are lying to you about their name. And now that brings the antenna up a little bit more as to why are you lying to me about your name? 9 times out of 10, people normally have warrants. But kudos to them. If you can see, they're not falling for the whole ploy of, oh, I'm having medical emergency. Oh, my heart.
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, fool me once, shame on you. If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
But they're still staying diligent, also remaining in policy, but they still call for medics. As you said, hey, the fire department's en route. So aid is already en route because he says he's experiencing a medical emergency, and common practice, you still have to call for aid just in case. But even though they're saying that, doesn't mean that you put your antennas down until you effectively identify these people that's in the vehicle that you stopped, and or you have to properly detain them.
I'm having heart.
The fire department's on the way. He's got a knife in his right pocket. Okay, step on. You're okay.
I know. My heart.
Okay, now sit down on the curb. Put your butt on the curb.
I'm trying, sir. But my heart. Sir, my heart. Oh, shit.
You shook your waist, sir?
Wait. I don't have anything.
No, hey, don't reach for anything.
No.
Okay?
My heart. My heart. Oh, my heart.
Relax.
Oh, my heart.
Calm down.
Oh, my heart. Sir, my heart, sir.
Hey, don't fight it. Don't fight it. Go to that. 220, 221. 221, call back to 21.
Give me that. Give me the other hand. Stop reaching.
Okay.
So I do want you to take a little note right there. So remember what I keep saying. If you're controlling a person's hips, you're going to force them to remain on the ground. And this is a 2-officer contact, and both officers are effectively doing a really good job. And if you can see right here, this is the partner's hand or wrist, right? Wrapped around the guy's waist, also trying to control his hands, preventing him whatever he has in his waistband, making it difficult for him to either pull something out, or making it difficult for him to properly ended up clutching or gripping or grasping on to whatever he has in his waistband. But they're effectively controlling this guy, keeping him on the ground, restricting his movements. Perfect job. This is what it comes to the high-low takedown in a sense, right? Where now they're effectively wrapping this guy's legs, kept him on the ground, which is keeping his hips forced to the ground, so that way he's not able to get to his feet if he's trying to. The other officers here that you see right there, he's staying on the opposite direction, preventing him from rolling towards him, right? Because now he's blocking that direction. So only way this person could do, lifting up his hips and obviously facing in the opposite direction of both officers, but they're doing a good job of maintaining control and communicating amongst each other, right? So that way they can properly either disarm this person if there is a firearm present, or even properly get this person detained.
Okay. Relax. Watch it.
Stop it.
Hey, I will shoot you.
Do it,
I will shoot you.
Do it. Stop it. Do it. Stop. Do it. Stop reaching.
I will shoot you.
Stop it.
Just stay in the car. Stay in the car. Stay in the car. Otherwise, you're gonna kill me. Stay in the car. Otherwise, you're gonna get in trouble too, ma'am. Just stay in the car, okay? Otherwise, force will be used against you. Just stay in the car. Just stay in the car, okay? Just stay in the car. Who is? Just stay in the car.
So as you saw, during the struggle, the suspect did end up producing a firearm, did end up cracking off a round. So a round did get fired, which resulted in the officer that was in the top position drew his firearm and ended up putting a round into the suspect that was on the ground, which neutralized the threat in that moment. Now, immediately after the threat was neutralized, meaning the suspect, they end up trying to render aid, attempt life-saving efforts. Unfortunately, the male did end up losing his life. And the female driver, later on during the course of the investigation, if you saw the caption up there, she was actually involved in a domestic violence situation with the suspect the night before, where he ended up stabbing her in her leg, resulting in an injury that she sustained during that incident. And at this moment, at the time of the stop, she was in fear for her life, and which prompted her to give the invalid or improper name along with the suspect, who is now deceased. I do have to point this out, all right? This is why traffic stops are important. Some people will say, oh, why you pull me over? Don't you have something better to do? Don't you have crime to solve? This is crime being solved, right? What seemed as a routine, quote unquote, traffic stop led to a situation where, one, you end up saving somebody's life, meaning the driver there, who was being held captive, unbeknownst to the officers, right? But if you notice at the beginning, he did say, hey, you got those wounds there on your leg. And then she says, oh, it's from a dog bite, not knowing that was actually from the suspect right there actually stabbing her the night before. And then two, now you get this person off the streets who had warrants, several warrants, clearly was a danger, because not only is he assaulting the driver that he's with him, but clearly he didn't want to go to jail, and he was attempting to produce a firearm, which ultimately put those officers' lives in danger. But you have to give kudos to those officers for not just letting it be or giving up at that traffic stop by staying vigilant. Okay, I'm not getting a return. What am I missing? And pushing the situation further, or the investigation further, in order to lead to an outcome where they end up saving somebody's life. And also maintaining good control, good communication amongst each other, and ultimately putting their life on the line and coming out on top in this situation. Now that it's over with, I do pray that these officers involved do take the time for self-care by either going and seeking therapy, if this is the case may be, or relying on their agency if they have a peer support or a wellness program capacity within that agency. And if not, just being sure to reach out to someone in order to talk things over, talk things through, because over the course of the next few days or week or month or even years, given that there's a death involved, there's always going to be a sense of trauma that's going to linger on, even when they're back on duty. With that being said, if you learn anything from this video, please be sure to drop a like and comment below. And like always, Jesus is the light of the way.